Hola and welcome to Oye Cinema Club. My name is Marina, aka the dignified couch potato. And tonight on this episode, we are going to be discussing the 1999 film Fight Club. I chose this movie because I have been saying first rule of Fight Club since I was like a kid, and I've been a fraud. I've never had seen it before we decided to review it. Um, so tonight is the night that we discuss this. I am doing things I'm saying I'm going to do, which is my New Year's resolution, and I'm not alone. With me tonight is Steve Dez, Dino and Jason, and JP. So yeah, let's dive right in to first impressions. Steve.
I'm here. First impressions. I'm gonna keep it very brief, short, and sweet. Never seen this movie. But there's a lot of clips from the film that I've seen before, and the movie also has been referenced a lot in just life for friends or things like that. So definitely know that. Didn't know this movie was so packed with incredible actors. I had no idea. I just thought I mainly only remember really Brad Pitt. I didn't even know Ed Norton was here and all these other different people here. Very trippy movie. Also, was not expecting it to be such a trippy movie. Like it gave me like I don't know Memento vibes or that type of stuff. The cinematography I thought was great. The colors were very nice. I was like blended, edited. Some of the steady cams I really enjoyed. Um, Unfortunately, though, story wise, because I was doing so many things, there's certain things I couldn't follow because I couldn't like super pay attention because I was watching it right before Cinema Club. So I do have some holes plot wise that I hope to get cleared in this discussion. But overall, I'm like, oh, this is definitely one of those films I can tell that you kinda, if you're like a movie person, have to watch. And it's more complex than what it was. Like from face value, name, and all that stuff, I just thought it was gonna be like a lot of people fighting, and it ended up being like more of a trip type of movie. But anyway, those are my first impressions.
Thank you. I'm very surprised to find a man that hasn't seen Fight Club. That's cool.
Damn! What are you single man, boy? You just got called out.
No, not like that, but whatever. All right, JP. What was your first?
It's hilarious. So Fight Club kind of exists in the same world as The Sixth Sense to me, where I haven't seen either or. So but I very much have already been aware of the spoiler and the twists in the film. So I knew enough of Fight Club already to be like, okay, I know what the movie's about roughly. I've seen some of these scenes already, like out of context, either in memes or like documentaries and whatever. So why not? Like, let's actually watch the damn thing to see it in context. Even with that prior knowledge, from where the story starts from A to Z, that was a fucking wild ride. That was a Simpson episode of a plot. God damn. But yeah, no, like I get the hype. I honestly do. I really do get the hype. I definitely got the hype for this one way more than The Big Lebowski, which was another film that I think Big Lebowski was also was either early 2000 or late 90s, where it's like, okay, very popular cult following. I understood this one way more than that one, but yeah, first thoughts, like pretty fucking wild movie.
Oh my gosh, two guys that hadn't seen Fight Club. This is
We're not supposed to talk about it.
whoa. All right, let's go with Dino next.
All right. First off, JP, I'm a little disappointed you said those things about the Big Lebowski, while also have a Hundreds of Beavers poster right next to you, and you can't get the Big Lebowski. Man, I don't know what that's about. I had seen it in Paraguay when it came out. I think just DVD though, and yeah, it is one of those. I thought I had seen it multiple times, and maybe I had, but probably hadn't seen it since I don't know 2002. Um, but yeah, so it was kind of like similar in the Sixth Sense that I didn't see that because someone ruined the ending when it first came out, and so when I finally watched it, I saw it under a completely different point of view because I was like, oh, let me keep an eye on certain things. So this time watching this, I already knew exactly what was happening, who was who, and yeah, it was a completely different experience, as well as seeing it in 2026, guy, with like toxic masculinity and everything. I was like, whoa. And like one lady, I mean, I think was a lady that, I mean, there were like two other ladies, I think, that had lines in it. So very interesting. Still, what I noticed this time, and maybe because I already knew the the whole twisty thingy, I was like, damn, this movie's long. And we had commercials. I was just like, this movie's long. And I'm like, I already know what happened. Can we just fast forward? Let me just see the goddamn ending. And it was like the YouTube TV version. So it did have some edits out. And I was like, okay, whatevs. But yeah, so seeing it again, it's just really weird because it was such a you see, Big Lebowski was a culty thing that kind of transpired a little bit after the film came out. This was like in the freaking like mainstream everything. Like I even remember when I think it was Jennifer Aniston hosted SNL and they couldn't stop doing like bits about Fight Club because that's when she was with Brad. And yeah, so this was huge when it came out. Had no idea IKEA was a thing though, because we're in Paraguay. Never heard of IKEA. And this time I was like, oh, I know IKEA. So that's it.
Nice, nice. Jason.
Indeed, not my first time seeing it. I have seen this multiple times.
'Cause we're men.
That's right. It's been a minute since I've been a man though, because I don't remember the last time I seen it, but I mean within the last like probably 6 or 7 years, I think. Uh, something like that. I think so I did see the movie a little bit differently this time because like every time I watch this movie after the first, because the first the twist is really what you kind of like, your brain sort of starts to focus on because a trick is being played on you, sort of. I think this time around though, well, let me say this. Every other time around, I'm always focused on like the sort of terrorist aspect of it because it's like these guys are doing something like they're basically terrorists, right? And they're doing something they think is noble. And I'm always thinking like, why can't you just like burn down like the student loan building? You know what I mean? Or like burn down the like a building that will affect all of us.
That's what they did.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like in real life, like why don't terrorists do that? Terrorists are always after the wrong thing. I should have been clear with the premise.
Real terrorists.
Real terrorists. Real terrorists. Like I wish they would have destroyed that, and like we could have all got a hard reset, and all our credit cards like just go away. And
We're not promoting that, by the way.
we're not. I'm just saying it's weird that it hasn't happened. The terrorists always do the wrong thing. Okay, so that's what I'm always thinking the entire time I'm watching all the other Fight Clubs I've seen.
Okay.
This time though, man, I was kind of focused a little bit more on like their relationship, like the Helena Bonham Carter, relationship, and like, so what's going on with her when she sees this guy, and like, like the kind of the toxicity, the toxicity of like their relationship. I was thinking about that a little bit, and I was also thinking like how Dino talked about like the toxic masculinity, kind of crisis that everybody talks about now. And it's like, well, this movie would never really play today. Like this thing would have been bashed from like day one. This thing would have never got a chance to like really breathe with what these guys are doing. But the thing that kind of shocks me the most about this movie, looking back on it after all these years, is that this came out in the 90s. And this is not for like any other 90s movie. This is like, it kind of, I mean, it's right before, the turn of the millennia or whatever, but it just doesn't feel like any cinema that happened in the 90s. And the reason that it kind of shook me, I was looking at this list of like movies from the 90s. I was like, well, what from the 90s is great that I haven't seen? And then this came up. I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even think about this in the 90s. I always think about this movie like 2003, 2004 ish. Maybe because it got like a second life on DVD or something, maybe. I don't know. But this movie was also like a cult classic, but mainstream. It was like a mainstream cult film, which was kind of odd for its time too. And I think it was like that cultish attitude of the film, and like, nobody talks about Fight Club, and it kind of like lended itself to the zeitgeist at the time. Everybody was quoting this damn movie for years after it came out. So that's kind of the stuff that I was just sort of focusing on this time around. But I do like this movie a great deal. I think it's fantastic filmmaking. I like David Fincher a lot. Like this is, like a touchstone piece of his like, catalog. The cinematography is really awesome in it. It's dark and brooding, and the set design is nasty and gross and primal. And all that stuff's like really fun. But yeah, that was what I was kind of focused on this time around watching it.
Cool. All right. So my first impression, kind of similar to JP's. Well, kind of similar to a little bit of everybody's thought process. Like it's definitely like equal parts. Like these guys today would have a podcast that I would block, but also it's just like, yeah, like why let's erase debt for everybody. Let's go. Because it's just like kind of conflicting on like what their message was. And it wasn't until they started doing their quests where I was like, okay, I guess like in the long run, what they're thinking is okay. But when they just started like beating people up for no reason, I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on here or what like where the heart is from. But yeah, I definitely feel like, and it's so funny that JP brought up Sixth Sense because it's in my notes. I was just like, I feel like going into this decades later, but knowing the secret, it did have an effect. It was very similar. Like if you were to watch Sixth Sense for the first time and know that he's dead the whole time, like it impacted me. I wish I would have like thought later, like, oh, maybe I should look for clues that someone would find because they know it. But I think it kind of ruined it a little bit for me to know the secret. But I watched it with my husband and he didn't know the secret. I'm like, how have you been on this planet, longer than me, and you didn't know that the whole thing is that
Another guy who's never seen Fight Club.
he never heard the spoiler. I was just like, oh, that's weird. But good for him. He got to experience it raw. I guess I don't know, but
you knew the spoiler. That's what you're saying.
I knew the spoiler ever since I was a kid. Like it was just like, oh yeah, it's really him. The only thing that was different, and it helped a little bit, is I think I wasn't under the impression that it was like this organization of like men like sticking to the man. I thought it was like a fight club where like there were rounds and you moved up. I thought it was more of like about the championship than it was about it being an organization of people doing these acts of terrorism, so that was kind of new and fresh. And I didn't realize how deep rooted the insomnia thing. I didn't realize how like deep this was, that it was like his everyday life. He thinks that he's with his roommate, but he's really with himself. I thought it was this thing like when he goes to fight, he thinks he's someone else. There was missing parts, but overall, like knowing that Brad Pitt isn't real was just kind of, it does take it away the first time around, watching it, knowing that. But I still enjoyed parts of it. It definitely was a spoiler, and a spoiler I never thought would matter. I don't even know. I've always wanted to watch it, but in the back of my mind, it's been so long. I'm like, I'm probably never gonna watch it. But yeah, glad to have, and definitely want to dive in, especially for people who've watched it multiple times, on a couple subjects about like clues, like things we should have realized that he wasn't there. And you guys picked up any of that, like the next couple times that you've watched it. And I guess we can kind of just start with that. Do you guys have anything where watching it a second time, or maybe even your first time, you noticed like, oh shoot, he's not real, and we should have
Well,
seen it.
this is my quick question to you. That even though you knew the switcher Rooney, did you see the blips of Brad Pitt at the very beginning? Not even him crossing behind, but they would literally kind of do little blips.
I saw it at the hospital when he went to try to get medicine for his insomnia. And
No, no, no,
again,
no. But I think that one's him sitting behind him, right?
he just pops up right next to the doctor,
Oh, okay.
like a glitch.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
didn't. I kind of looked at him and he didn't notice. I think he thought it was like, this is an old movie.
Yeah.
And so
maybe,
he would have known then. He didn't know. It wasn't until the end where I was like, yeah, I kind of ruined it. I knew the whole time. He's like, oh.
I to be honest with you, but again, I wasn't patiently watching the whole thing. I was doing other stuff. But I honestly did not know. Like I was confused at one point when he was blipping around. But like when I was for sure was when it was like showing him fighting Brad Pitt towards the end, and then the security cameras was like him doing stuff by himself. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I
wow, that
guess.
was really by the end. Not even. I guess you must have missed him like giving him the drink, and it just drops the reveal of it. Maybe you missed.
Yeah. He mentioned he left the room a couple times. So yeah,
Yeah.
you probably I just feel like definitely I can imagine the conversations with the woman probably make more sense the second time around. They do
Yeah.
it so well, but again, because I was thinking John was gonna get it when like he was looking down in the attic. And the fact that they never were in the same room at the same time, the woman and Brad Pitt, like it was so obvious, but I'm just like, man, I am curious. Yeah, it's been so cool to have a fresh lens. I can't say that enough. But yeah. Um, I read up on some things. Supposedly when he's on the payphone, it says no call. Did you guys ever notice that before? I read up on it afterwards, so I didn't notice it, but definitely something I want to see. Like supposedly when he's on the payphone, it says like out of service or something when
Uh,
he's calling him. I didn't notice that. I was curious if anybody had ever noticed that
I
watching.
just because payphones are weird, well, because they're no longer around. I this time I was kind of looking at it, and it did seem. I don't know if I noticed that exactly, but I was like, this seems off. But knowing it, I was just like, how is that conversation working, right? But the basically with the whole Marla relationship, like you mentioned, that's when he leaves the phone on top while she's talking to go find her, and then Brad Pitt comes and kind of starts listening. So that then tricks the viewer that it's like, oh, Brad Pitt must have been the one because they just show Brad Pitt getting her. Um, but yeah, so this time around, I was just paying attention, and they're like never in the same room. And when you were saying that, someone off camera said, "Oh, fuck," because I guess that realization just came as well. In the attic, and the "Don't talk about me," like "Don't talk to her about me,"
Yeah.
type of thing. Like what? And then I was like, "Oh yeah," because that's the giveaway.
And then they do a good job of like again with the woman. I forget her character name.
Marla,
Marlo, she at
Marla.
one point when they're Marla,
Yeah, Marlo is Shakespeare's real writer. Go to the back of the drug dealer on the wire. There you go. Oh, yeah.
when they're arguing at one point, and she was like, what was about that night when you came like to be a doctor? That was a moment too where, but then he cuts it off like, huh, what were we talking about? Don't leave. And there's like it was very quick on stuff. So yeah, like it was I guess like I tried to make it fun, but if I ever watch it again, I definitely want to like really look for like clues. And so it says that it's like 5 times there's flashes of Brad Pitt before he's introduced.
Yeah.
I remember the doctor. Like, what were the other ones? Like,
He just blip. It's just a blip.
do you
It's
remember
not.
what scene?
It's in the begin. I mean, it's before they're even on the plane together. Before you see him down the escalator, They're just
They're all very early in the
yeah.
film. One
Because the
thing
first
when
one I noticed was the doctor's office when he's
Mm.
like, I'm not going to give him the medicine. And then to his left, something just goes like this.
Yeah.
he floats, but he's like in a crowd of people, and he like appears behind somebody in one of the scenes.
Right, but that one I think is more takes a little longer. I should have written when he just blips, because this time I remember that there were blips, and this time around I was like, oh, there were a lot of them, but I didn't write when they happened.
Yeah.
I'm reading right now that also there were 2 extra flashes in the middle of Diddy behind Brad Pitt.
Wow, I must that must be the director's cut you were watching.
The FBI is going to eat us up, endorsing terrorism, endorsing Diddy. We're going down. So I guess it's like, yeah, because there's a lot to choose from in a weird way. There's only a few main characters, but we have a lot of characters. What would you guys say is your favorite character in this?
Well,
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Yeah, I like
Meatloaf,
Meatloaf's character,
Meatloaf,
yeah.
baby, Meatloaf. Come on, don't
yeah, Meatloaf is pretty badass in this movie.
don't leave JP hanging, guys.
I figured because he's a rock star in real life, right?
Was
Yeah.
R.I.P.
All right.
Oh, when did he pass?
Uh,
A
Fuck.
few
I think it was
years,
2022.
a few years ago, maybe during COVID or right after COVID.
No bueno, so sad.
Those boobs were throwing me off.
And the fact they called him Bob, that was the name that they gave him.
And I was like looking at pictures of him in real life. I'm like, is this a real thing he has to deal with? Poor guy.
No.
And it's not pictures of him in real life.
No, it's a fat suit. I just
He was he was also in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was. He was in the motorcycle.
Yeah. The non like character that I mean is just a great one is the priest that the guy picks a fight with the water hose.
Yeah.
Like just that small thing. I mean, I remember, that's one that like stays with you because it's just so funny as a kid. I'm just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at that a little too because it was pretty funny. Probably my own trauma with religion. It was just a lot going on in that scene, and I was just like cracking up. I'm like, is the priest gonna be the only one to punch back? And he sure was. At first, he was like, "Oh, sorry."
The apology got me.
And I think it was double funny because I watched that new Wake Up Dead Man, the new
Knives Out.
Knives Out, the new Knives Out, and that's about a priest that like used to box.
Hey, no spoilers, bro.
It's literally the preview. It's a priest that used to box. I wasn't gonna say anything else, so it was just funny that like this was a priest that looked like he may have used to box, like he was ready. He was like, I love God now, but like I could still beat you up. But yeah, no, I really liked that scene.
Yeah, that was always like that montage. Of all those guys like fighting basically at work or whatever, or getting beat up at work. I always thought that was pretty funny. I feel like Marla was the one I kind of like the most this time around, and Helena Bonham Carter is such a terrific actor. That's Harry Potter's teacher, for Christ's sakes.
Tim Burton's was the wife for a bit, right? Yeah, I mean, definitely had a crush on her, like that goth-esque kind of emo girl going on as a kid. I mean,
that was her bag in the 90s.
Yeah.
Straight
I mean,
up.
so yeah, and if you think about like character kind of development, or just like she's the actual character, other than Ed Norton realizing he's got a split personality or whatever, her character is way more tragic. Like also knowing what is gonna happen, because then that's again when you notice when it's Ed and she comes down from the bedroom and it's like, yeah, leave, and she's like, what the fuck? And the first time around, it's like, yeah, she's been she's the one sleeping with Brad Pitt, But once you know, it's like, oh yeah, Ed Norton's being a freaking asshole.
Yeah,
So
no, I agree on that. Like, that was that was probably one of the only refreshing things about knowing the plot is empathizing with what she's freaking going through. Like, she's basically like dating someone with mental health issues, and like, if you don't know that the first time around, you're just like, oh man, like, why is she like hanging out in this dirty house and like, like just leave. Like, you got what you wanted upstairs, go. But she's just trying to still hang out with him while he's on his calm point, I
yeah,
guess. Like, it definitely that was kind of I felt her more where I feel like if you don't know the plot, you definitely are just like think it's just like this she likes drama or something like, but
No,
um
and also, we also have to put into account that this is a time way before dating apps. So it's difficult to find someone, that have the power of the Joker to blow up buildings at the same time in sequence in the love and romance, for
Yeah, my first girlfriend I met at an AA meeting.
well, do they meet at the AA or do they meet at the Cancers Anonymous? Which one?
well,
Tuberculosis. Oh
an-
God.
another line that I remember as just from a kid was when he's like, "And you're a testicular cancer or whatever," and she's like, "Actually, it makes more sense for me to be there." Like not having. You don't even have testicles. Like what?
Yeah. So
um
Um,
funny.
what was I gonna say? It's a hell of a meet cute if you think about it. Like,
Couple tourists through
yeah,
different.
they're through all these different, AA type meetings and whatnot. Like, that's their meet cute. Like, why do I keep seeing you with all these things? It's the most toxic meet cute I think I've ever seen in cinema.
yeah, it was just like I wonder if she appreciated how like artsy and cool her role was in that. Like she has like all my favorite things about like female acting like from back in the day. I feel like a lot of it is gone. And a lot of it was even gone like in the 90s. So she got to like smoke and like it's just like she had like this whole vibe that I feel like you don't see as much anymore. And her hair was crazy. I'm
Yeah,
just
she
like,
was photographed so well in this movie with the crazy hair and the hats and the sunglasses and the cigarettes and
I
the.
mean, in the cave with the pit like Kirby instead of the penguin, like that whole.
this was her audition for Alice in Wonderland in the future,
Or it helps if you're married to the director of all those movies, right?
I know, like I wonder if she's like a muse for it. Like what came first? Like, like did she always dress like that? Or
She has a great interview that I read during the pandemic. It was right after the pandemic because the interview takes place in her house. And it was like the first time ever really like hanging out with anybody since the pandemic when the lady comes over. And like she basically spent the whole day with the interviewer just because she sort of like, was having a good time talking to another human, which is like a part of the interview. It's really fantastic if you guys can find it online. But she like really breaks down a lot about like her personal life and home life and what's it like being in a relationship with Tim Burton. I think they had just like broken up recently at that time. Yeah, it's pretty good though. He's quirky lady.
nice. Um, Dino and Steve, you said the preacher. Steve, what was your favorite character? Did you say?
um, just because it wasn't mentioned, I'm gonna say Brad Pitt.
Dang it.
Sure.
Because to be honest with you, I everything I seen about Brad Pitt, he's just Brad Pitt.
Not you
So
stealing my thing word for word.
That's
this
funny.
was this was this is legit the only time that I've seen Brad Pitt not acting like Brad Pitt, or at least what I think
Well,
Brad Pitt
that's
like.
freaking hilarious. So Brad Pitt's character is also my favorite. Ed, you did a good job too, but like Brad was like crazy, And I literally told John that. I was so like, wow, like man, Brad Pitt used to act his butt off. Now he just shows up like I'm Mr. Cool Guy, it's Ocean's 51. Like he just does not that's just became his like thing. I feel like George Clooney, there's a lot of people that like they get popular off of being suave, and then that's all they have to give, like, ever again. And so I'm like, dang, it made me want to see like what are some other movies that like he's just not the cool guy showing up. Because even like we did something else with him. I forget the name of that movie. Like when he goes to Mexico or something. Didn't we do that movie?
Not Inglourious Bastards.
No. Maybe I watched that on my own, but I thought it was something that we did where he's in.
With
Babel.
Julia Roberts down in Mexico.
I think so. Maybe. Yeah. There's a lot going on, but like I just feel like even that, like even though it's high stakes, I feel like a lot of times, even if it's high stakes, he just literally is Mr. Cool. So it was kind of cool to see him just like kind of spaz out for a role and like be someone's imaginary person. Like it was just, yeah, he was definitely my favorite too.
Yeah, it's an iconic character. Tyler Durden is probably like a top movie villain all time, like top 125 maybe.
Yeah. The way he would always throw his cigarette, like that's a very like to like put it out, it was just almost like an exclamation point every single time. You could really. I mean, they've talked about Brad Pitt and eating stuff or putting stuff, you know, like cigarettes or lollipop and Oceans. He's like always trying to do something with his hand and eating. And so to see this one just smoking but constantly throwing that versus all the other ones, it's like, well, he's finding new ways to use his hand and, you know, in his mouth without keeping it, you know, boring and, you know,
Definitely
changing it up.
what focuses on in the movie. But I wanted to say, rapid rapid fire question for you guys. If you were to recast Brad Pitt's role for another actor that's not Brad Pitt, which one would you put there?
Of that time or now?
Edward
'Cause
Norton with a mustache.
Jared Leto playing both characters.
No.
Wow.
I love Jared Leto at Jared Leto as fucking Johnny Depp in this movie.
I had no idea this because of course when I first saw it, but watching it now and seeing the names pop up at the beginning, I was like, Jared Leto? That Jared Leto?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice the intro credits like that enough. You know, I was just like, you
Yeah.
know, let's. But yeah, no, I literally was like, is that Jared Leto? And then I'm like, is that the dad from? Like, I'm like, what? Who are these like people? Like, what's like? It was like a lot. That was a pretty cool cast. But as far as answering your question, Steve, I don't know. I might need a second. It might need to come to me. Like,
I'm not sure who I would. I know I would recast Edward Norton with Barry Keoghan.
Oh, him? I was even thinking going real over the board with Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet and Joaquin Phoenix, probably.
I was gonna say Jim Carrey for Brad Pitt's role.
Jim Carrey. Smoke
Oh,
on.
no, if it's more modern, it's Joaquin.
Yeah.
Because again, the Joker. That was my big thing watching the Joker. It's like I'd rather be watching Taxi Driver, or I could watch Fight Club, or I could watch like every other movie that the Joker was doing an homage of.
I don't know.
Maybe Heath Ledger would have been a good Tyler Durden.
Oh no! So you're saying you wouldn't wouldn't be able to be done? Let's female recast this, guys. That's the way to do it. And keep Helen. She's in her same character, but Tyler Durden and Ed Norton are two women.
Prime. What's her name?
That movie
was Glenn Close.
Scarlett. No, Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron.
The movie would be over in 30 minutes. Someone would put her in the loony bin. Like,
I got it.
Who was that? Who would go into the loony bin?
The women.
Her character. Oh, isn't that Monster Ball? Isn't that no Monster Ball? What's the one with? Well, no, she's in Monster, but then wasn't there one of Halle Berry? Wasn't she in one where she?
Monster Ball.
Oh, that's Monster Ball.
There's J-Lo and shoot. I want to say her name on How to Get Away with Murder so bad.
The black lady?
Viola Davis?
Yes, Viola Davis and J-Lo, I think they're in a movie together, or was it a different actress? But it's J-Lo for sure. A movie where I don't want to spoil it because if you've never seen it, now I took away your joy. But there's a movie with
Well, I think it would be Angelina Jolie. Wasn't she in the one where she's in the psych ward and
Suicide.
yeah, Virgin Suicides? And I feel like that
Oh,
could be
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's character.
you have Angelina Jolie and
Definitely.
Jennifer Aniston.
they're really gonna punch each other. Pow pow.
No, I got it. I got it. So for Edward Norton's character, I will put Renee Zellweger.
Oh wow.
Okay, I see
And
that. Okay.
and for this is you would never see this in a million miles away. For Brad Pitt's character, I will put Cardi B.
Oh, what?
Oh my god.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Why not? You can do anything.
I'm so sick of it.
Can't wait for Cardi B and Helen Mirren. Yeah. Oh, Helen Mirren instead of Bonham Carter.
Let's add 3 more Tyler Durdens and just bring all the Spice Girls.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I still know what Durdens. The Durden sisters.
Oh my god.
Right. I still don't know. I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously. Like you guys have even resorted to jokes, and I'm just like,
What jokes? What jokes?
figure out. I would.
I feel like they
the
nailed it.
movie
I feel like
gave-
Angelina Jolie will be the one.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
In that time, also, I mean, it's weird because of Brad as well, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Cardi B makes sense.
Oh no! You know who would have been Ed Norton's character? Hilary Swank. Hilary
$1
Swank
baby.
and Angelina Jolie. I feel like what it
Yeah.
would have been.
Oh.
I see that. I see that. That's a good casting.
Thank you, JP.
See, what that would have swept all the awards. And also would have been very progressive at the time because that's a sapphic romance. Hell yeah.
In an alternate universe, we're arguing with each other, and somebody say, "I think Brad Pitt would be a great Tyler Durden." You're like, "You would never make Tyler Durden."
The guy from Thelma and Louise? No way.
Exactly. Like, I could never see.
All right. Favorite scene.
Favorite scene. The
Can we go
ending
with the
credits.
people that first time watching? Because I want to see that
Yeah.
to see if that kind of triggers what might have been my favorite the
Yeah.
first time around.
Go for it. Steve, then or JP, then Steve, and then I'll go.
I'm gonna think about it right now. Well, I'm trying to think of a favorite scene. I'll tell you the scenes that kind of threw me out of the movie. Honestly, were all it's such a. I could have thought that this movie was like early 2000s and not late 90s, just because of all the CGI scenes in this movie. The beginning credits, the shot of it going through the trash bin, the love scene with Helena Bonham Carter's character and Brad Pitt's character, and then like, yeah, no, the amount of like Pixar looking ass scenes in this film really threw me off. I mean, I get it; someone had to. It was the start of something new. Oh, actually, this is gonna sound. I thought my favorite scene. We're going to spoilers. Actually, was I jokingly said ending credits, but yeah, the final scene was pretty damn hilarious. Because at the end of the day, like the way that they treat it so nonchalantly that like Ed Norton ends up winning technically, even though there are no winners, because the thing still happened. What Brad Pitt's goal still comes into still comes through, and no one is the wiser of like which personality is here, if they're even aware that there's a split personality at all. Because I have a theory that most of the underlings knew and just accepted it. So like, yeah, no one knows. You know what I'm saying? It was just a really fun, awkward movie. And then to end it with that song was so like, okay, this is a vibe.
especially since no one was getting hurt.
I like that actually. I think that final scene is pretty damn good. I've always liked that final scene of that everything coming down and them just sort of like witnessing it together.
Did they go down as well? I can't remember. Is that a different edit? So he was able. He did pull the right wire from the van. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I think I
And
like
you
that.
real quick, so at the in the end scene, what song did you guys have? Because in mine was "Ain't No Mountain High Enough."
Ain't no mountain high enough.
It works for everything.
My love
I
is
don't think they
alive.
went down. I don't think they,
What was that?
I don't think they went down because that would defeat the whole purpose of him like saving her.
Yeah, I don't think they went down.
You
Dino
think
may
they
have
went
seen an alternate version.
Well, it kind of like splits go off, so I couldn't. That's one thing I couldn't remember from when I saw it as a young lad in Paraguay, if they went down or not. I did remember that they go real quick. JP, those CGI looked banger back in the day. Maybe it was 'cause it was a small ass TV, and it was DVD, and I was like, oh my god. I can't remember, or maybe I saw it in the theater. Either way, but this time around, when the movie started, I was like, "Oh, this is cringe." I was like, "Did I think this looked good? Like this looks terrible." But as a kid, I was like, "This is blowing my mind." And then again, you think like, "Man, The Matrix still looks really good, right?" Or Back to the Future, like, still looks really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will say I looked up. Speaking of the final scene and how it ends, the writer of the novel, I guess, kind of preferred the movie to his actual book because I guess he said it made it more concise or whatever. But he said he prefers the ending version of the Chinese cut because I guess they recut it and the cops stopped them. So the plan never finishes. The cop just like, and you're caught, like you did not succeed.
Yeah.
What was the point of even like
terror succeed?
What?
what was the point of them following leads? I feel like that definitely is like something that was left unanswered.
Yeah. Yeah, the one police was going to go find it, but clearly everyone else was like part of it. So,
Maybe they
and going to I don't know who was reacting, but it's like about them constantly saying like, "You said you would say that, sir. You told us you would say that." I'm like, I know that would like give it away, but I would love to see what that looked like, right? Like what Brad Pitt saying, like, I'm gonna be a dweeb, I'm gonna be a this, I'm gonna try to pussy out or whatever, and or see that as Ed Norton also telling his minions, because it would just be interesting, right? Of where the flip is.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I was just like, but I guess like that's what it dives into it being interesting, but it definitely felt unanswered. Like it'd been cool to see like something that you can go back and be like, oh, that's why you said that. Like, yeah. But yeah, I guess it's hard to like perfect split personalities and stuff. I always get really frustrated. Like I always say like time travel, like, ghosts, like it's just so tough. You can't get all the answers in one if you want to be genuinely surprised too. Um my favorite scene is moment is definitely when like when it's revealed that we know he's not real in the plot and they're doing the fight scene.
Yeah.
Um and he's like, "You're fighting your imaginary friend." Like it was just so it was so intense. I'm like, where do I take it from here? Like, I know this is fake, but like this is just so interesting. Especially when he's like gliding like
Yeah.
under the car. It's like, okay, what's happening? But yeah. Um yeah, I just really like their dynamic, their friendship, which is like I feel like we could like really dive deep into what was going on there. Like, um, yeah, it's so layered, like that relationship with your inner self, the person you want to be, I guess, too. Um, yeah, like I said, like it's equal parts like some weird male behavior in this movie, but also just like it's very understandable that sometimes you feel stuck and you want something different, and this like system that we're in is just like excludes people, and you're either here or you're here. There's not a lot of like I get it. I agree that I don't think this would have been something that would have done well right now, but I understand the purpose it served when it
Well, movies like Joker, I think I think it would have had a crazier fan base actually if it came out now.
It would be more. It would be far more dangerous of a movie today.
More divisive and everything.
Yeah, I want to know where those assholes were at January 6th.
Bringing up what I thought was interesting now that I knew it also, a lot of movies where there's like the split personality or imaginary friend, usually when we find that out, we don't see that, the imaginary friend again or the split. But this one, yeah, they have a whole conversation, and watching it this time, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting choice of like having him actually still be around and kind of have a conversation, and then like shooting the van, and he's like, "You're shooting, right? You're shooting at your man through a car with whatever nitroglycerin explosive, blah de blah." Was super cool. That it's like the jig is up, yet he's still talking to him, right? Kind of like but a beautiful mind. Well,
Oh
spoiler
yeah.
for people who haven't seen it, but when the jig is up, usually the jig is up. Not we're gonna do a whole more 10-15 minutes of discussing it with people.
I agree. They really had me thinking it was done when, he get on all these flights to go look for him. I'm like, okay, now he's got to like face himself truly. He's like, not yet. So that was kind of a cool experience. And then the movie with Viola Davis and Jennifer Lopez is Lila and Eve. Another spoiler. One of them aren't real, but
Okay, I mean that's like all right, cool. Next week for Cinema Club, guys.
It's all right. It's all right. It's not reviewing it. It's good.
And then after that, we're gonna watch Split.
I'm gonna give all the watchers of Cinema Club a spoiler right now. The majority of the people here are AI generated.
The majority. It's really just me and Steve.
Okay, so you were doing that on purpose. Earlier, I thought your speaker was like doing something like bad. Like I'm like, dang, your speaker.
Yeah, no, it's a setting on my thing.
So funny.
All right, so
Well, I got some box office information. If I might interrupt with unbreaking news. So this movie was made for $63 million back in
Wow.
$63 million, but most of that went to Brad Pitt because I'm not kidding. Like he was making so much money. Like this is Brad Pitt, like entering like the height of this celebrity. He made $17.5 million, so he got very rich off this movie. Edward Norton only made $2 million on this by comparison. So just
And the rest of CGI intro and
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure they got rich multiple times because I'm sure the DVDs for this was like hotcakes. And then like this, so this thing grossed about $101.2 million at the box office. So it was successful, but and it made its money back, at the box office. But I'm sure it didn't make, half as much money. I'm sure it made double the money on DVD sales. Everybody had this on DVD.
I think was it a bigger hit than what they thought it was going to be?
I mean, I don't know. But I do remember seeing this on a DVD list. This was one of the top selling DVDs all time. At one point, Office Space, I believe, was the #1 DVD of all time. And I think this Fight Club was like 2 or 3. So this is a very popular movie. You didn't own a DVD player without owning this, I think.
I got Office Space on DVD right here.
Do you really? Oh, Office Space. So you've got one of the 2 most popular DVDs of all time right in front of you.
I never watched that before.
little side informations for you guys nerds out there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alrighty. Now we can dive in to final thoughts. let's go opposite. So Jason?
Sure. So it was fun talking about this movie with you guys. I haven't seen it in many years. Like I said, 7 or 8 years probably. No surprises really with it. I mean, I guess another thing that you kind of are forced to watch or pay attention to when you watch a movie like this is starting to notice. Like, at what point, like, do I notice it? Are they dropping any clues? So you start looking for the clues, like, just by nature, knowing this. And like I said, I've seen this a bunch of times. So like, I think they do a great job of making this a kind of movie that you would want to watch more than once because you're like, hey, if doesn't agree, I guess, but I guess it's like, hey, yeah, because you're like, hey, well, if this guy wasn't real, let me see if if I'm noticing anything between the acting, and it's all there. Like if you watch it a second time, it's like the actors they're playing the part like he's not actually there, so you can see it the second time around. I think. Who would I recommend this to? I would recommend this to just general movie lovers, of age, who can stand a serious rated R film. Um, I would watch this again, at some point in life for sure. I think Brad Pitt's great in it. I think Ed Norton is great in it. I think Helena Bonham Carter is great. I think David Fincher, does a really good job assembling this thing and making it all like believable and work. And once you're in this movie, you're pulled into it. It's a really good piece of cinema, I think. So that would be my final thought.
Awesome. Dino.
Oh man, I do. As a kid, I remember I was like, "This movie is amazing." Not that I was watching it a bunch, but just because of the whole split thing and how cool it was, dark and angsty, whatever. But watching it again, I was just like, "This is so damn long. This is like so damn long. Like, there's so much yelling. Like, can you guys please stop yelling? Can we just get to the point already?" I was just
Were you
like,
hungover when you watched this movie?
no, I don't know. I was just like, you know what? Because you know what? I wanted to pay real attention to kind of catch the things, but it was like I wanted to just be a movie that I could just have in the background because I had already seen it. But I was like forcing myself to try and catch the freaking things happening. So anyway, yeah, I recommend it to people. Like again, I was such a part of the zeitgeist of the late '90s and all that, and down with credit cards and like that. Think different and like, hey man, like government, blah blah blah, and you aren't starting to live without blah blah blah. But yeah, it wouldn't be one that I would jump out and recommend first.
This movie is pre 9/11.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the whole flight things of the oxygen mask and then they swap out the thing and then they have a air collision. Pretty crazy. Oh, real quick, the version you guys saw, did was there the cigarette burn mark at the very end of the film where there is a penis on screen? Did you guys see that version?
Mine had the red stapler in it.
Like JP, did you see that version, or was that the DVD? Because I imagine for regular TV, you don't show male nudity is a no. So clearly, when we watched that yesterday, I was like, oh, that got edited out because that's kind of scarred in your head.
That's what you were waiting for.
I know. I was just waiting for the penis.
Waiting for that full Johnson.
Because people said that was actually Brad Pitt's penis that flashed for a second.
It's a
Is it
direct
for real?
I heard he had a penis double.
Really? All you need is one.
Anyway, so it's a really good film, especially again for when it came out, everything that it's trying to do shot really well. I mean, the use of smoke from cigarette smoke is some of the best I think out there. Um, Super, so much of like the '90s, like smoking in AA, smoking in this, smoking on the bus, smoking in the
You
this.
can't smoke in here.
I know. So all that, I feel like, yeah, the movie is of its time. I will say that. But again, I was just watching it. And I was like,
Also, you telling me you watched it with like commercials, right?
yeah, the freaking commercials. I
It's a
couldn't
2 hour
pass
and
over.
19-minute movie, which is
Oh, that's why it was like 2 hour 40.
Yeah, that's
so you watch like the 3 hour version of it.
I was like, and I was repeating the same Disneyland. It was all Disneyland commercials.
And then a new show that's coming up, Beauty.
Oh yeah, Beauty, the with Ashton Kutcher, and I was like,
At
Ashton
least,
Kutcher and Disneyland commercials every like.
All over.
I can
Yeah.
at
imagine
least
how
it
that'd
was
be pretty rough.
pleasant. You could have been pitching MLM, join Herbalife, some other stuff.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Anyway, so yeah, still really good. I've just whatever. That's good.
Yay.
I made an impact when I was a kid, and now I'm like over it.
Anybody else want to cut me off while I'm hosting? All right. Next is Steve.
I'll cut you off gladly.
Damn, bro.
So if you're ever in a position where you are getting beat up by your own imaginary friend, I think you should either see a doctor or you should break up that friendship because uh, yeah, I understand that sometimes your imaginary friend could be a hot shirtless Brad Pitt, but sometimes you just have to let that go. It's abusive, it's toxic. And that happens, unfortunately, to some relationships. I've seen some of my friends be in relationships where I tell them it's not good for you. So, Talita, leave Dino right now. No, I'm completely
Are you
joking.
saying she's not real?
Yeah. They don't-
Huh? Well, Jason is very real, and you've been ignoring him, and he's right next to you.
I'm so scared right now.
Did she really give you that drink or did Dino give you that drink?
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Was there ever a drink, Marina? I think Marina, your dry January is making you see drinks. Nobody has been drinking tonight.
There is no drink. Only
With that being said, my final thoughts is that it is a really good movie, man. Like if you like me and JP and Marina never seen this movie before, then you should watch it. You should watch it. And it's definitely it's for sure a movie I believe that I will see again because there's so many things that I missed. Uh and yeah, and I'm also just shocked like JP that this movie was made in the 90s just because how time flies with certain things and I don't know if I can call this like a classic, like I put Back to the Future and those type of movies in like a very like different category. I wouldn't necessarily put it there, but man, it's a really good piece of film. And just in general, the cinematography of it, how it was shot, like I was very captivated just by the editing and the colors and all those things and the grimy look of everything. And yeah, it just looked like literally like there was like whoever did the set design for this definitely did theater, I feel. Like big Broadway or very big productions because like it had all those really cool things of creating really that world for it. And I really enjoyed that. So I would definitely recommend it more to people that never seen this, people that possibly are into, I don't know, UFC. I don't know. Guys that need to express themselves. That's who I want.
All righty. Does that leave little me? Yeah. So my final thoughts. glad to take this off the list. I do. There's some certain movies where I don't care that I haven't watched it when I consider myself a cinephile, but this has been bothering me. I was like, you know what? You're a fraud until you complete this. I feel good. I'm here. I've watched it. Um, like I said, some of the energy is a little strange, Couldn't help but be like, man, you guys have like so less oppression that you have to go beat each other up in a basement. Like that's, my mind went there a couple times, but I still understand, I'll never understand what it is to be a white man in a basement, but I still enjoyed their journey to inner self. I get it. But yeah, recommend this to if there's anybody left who hasn't watched it, recommend it and try not to spoil it. Like so they can get a fresh perspective. I do think there's a lot of cool things like just as a person who likes to dive into it. Like I said, the acting, I just feel like it was phenomenal. Like even the smaller parts. Like I remember everybody's like their loyalty to the cult. Like it was just like so intense. Like this person going through a freaking mental breakdown was able to start something that people around the country are following. And then when he got out of it and he was over it, it was still so well ran that it continued. Like it's crazy. It's just a lot going on. It definitely gave me like those like the what is it, Queen for a Dream? I always say that wrong. Like very like trippy, interesting, very long, but I did enjoy it. I definitely want to watch it again to like look for the little parts to show, of the spoil. Now that even though I knew the spoiler the first time, I think I was really trying to like watch it with fresh eyes. But now I feel like I can go back and like find little Easter eggs in the movie. But yeah, I really liked it. I think I'm good on picking a movie about men for a very long time. Sorry, guys. I need Mean Girls 3 to come out so we can review that. But yeah, thanks for watching it with me.
Thank you, Marina, for the surprise pick of white men in a basement. It's been white men in a basement.
I did say I kind of miss Marina picking
Yeah. You
Your
did say
other-
that.
your other movies. I was like, Marina picked this. Could she not have picked another Mean Girls type movie?
Sometimes you got to shake it up a little bit. So I guess I was just wondering, Steve, what do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so glad you asked me. I was going to bamboozle my way into the next pick, but you know what? I said, why not catch the sequel, Fight Club?
Like,
Electric Boogaloo.
It is JP's turn.
Yeah, it's my turn. So with this year, they're releasing Christopher Nolan's releasing his adaptation of the Odyssey. So we're going to watch my favorite adaptation of the Odyssey. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Watch the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
I hope you didn't spoil SpongeBob's. Yeah.
There you
Wait,
go.
wait, you're
Oh, we're-
serious?
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Serious.
It's serious. We're watching, even I was like, what? But yeah, we're watching the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Just happy to have you back.
I hope someone doesn't see the SpongeBob review. Little kid was like, "What else they do? Fight Club? Oh yeah, that's fun."
And just wait, JP, and just to clarify, is the original first SpongeBob SquarePants movie,
It is
right?
the first SpongeBob SquarePants
not the one that's currently in
movie.
theaters. Gotcha.
No.
I don't know how many SpongeBob movies there are, but they're many.
I know.
There's at least 4.
Oh my god.
So for JP Saruno, El Dandino, Jason underscore Echoes, and we still with TV. Lisa, Lisa over there making caipirinhas. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
So, bye.